Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Happy Healthy Women podcast and HHW TV. I am your host, Natalie Colililo, and I am the founder and CEO of Happy Healthy Women. Today, we have a really special guest by the name of Shelby Avan. Shelby is our branch director in our Newmarket, Ontario branch for Happy Healthy Women, and she is a women's empowerment and intimacy coach. So this is going to get really interesting because in this conversation, we are going to talk about the synergy between sensuality, between science, between spirituality. We're going to dig into things like spiritual bypassing. We're going to dig into things like intuition and the strength of our intuition as we lead more courageous lives, as we make decisions based on that intuition and the frequency which we're living in. And it all comes together, under one beautiful umbrella that really ties in the spirituality, the sensuality, and the science. And so I find this so interesting, and I am so excited for you to listen into this and just dig in to what your soul is asking you to do in this moment. Enjoy. I'm really excited for this conversation because, this is something that is not always talked about in spaces where, and it's so interesting because how is it not always talked about in spaces where women come together, right? But I can understand it from, a quote unquote networking perspective, right? Like women just sort of don't bring these things to the surface. But today we are truly talking about the synergy between sensuality, science, and spirituality. And what Shelby brings to the table is really like open and truthful conversations about the things that women are kind of hush about. And I really love this about you, Shelby, and I cannot wait to dig in to all of this. Is there anything you want to say to start us off?
I feel like the first thing that people need to know is that when I talk about intimacy, I'm talking about emotional intimacy first. So I think a lot of the times people think that what I'm talking about is sex, and I can,
Right.
but that's not ultimately what I'm actually helping with. Like that's honestly like a byproduct of all the work that I help people with on the emotional intimacy scale.
Right.
Sex will get better because of what you learn about yourself and how you can talk and ask for what it is you need and all the other things. So yeah, I work on the emotional level with people.
Awesome. Well, I'm really glad you made that distinction because the word intimacy does bring up thoughts for people, right? Like when they first hear that word, they're like, ooh, okay, we're going there all of a sudden, right? But the personal intimacy, the emotional intimacy is a whole other thing, right? And so I love that we're going to dig into this as it relates to everything else. But even, the word sensuality, like that brings up a lot for women. And I think sensuality is something that we have thought to be so taboo that we just kind of sweep under the rug or push off to the side, right? Until we're in moments where we can start to feel that way. But even then, I don't know that most women are really tapping into this and tuning into this. And I know that is part of your work here in this world. So let's dig in a little bit to, first of all, give us an overview of the work that you do. And then I want to talk about some challenges that you see women facing in this space.
So ultimately the work that I do is I help women to begin to trust themselves again, whether that's being able to connect with their body, trust in their own intuition, find that sensuality, find that confidence. It's all kind of an all encompassing thing, but like ultimately I'm trying to help women trust in themselves again. And that can look like coming to some of my dance classes, and that's more about, the body and that sensuality, or we can do a Reiki session where we're getting in touch with that energetic healing spirituality nature of things, or one-on-one coaching, that can kind of encompass literally everything. So it can be attachment styles, Reiki, it can be nervous system work. There's lots of stuff. We can talk about sex. That's usually like later on in the program that I've set, but there's lots of stuff that I kind of touch on and help with.
Okay, great. So, okay, so let's dig in a little bit to the like what made you get into this work in the first place? What were you seeing? What gaps, to make it to give it a business term, like what gaps in the marketplace were you seeing? What were you seeing with women? What patterns were you seeing that you were like, I really have to bring this awareness to the table and start to help women through this?
It was very personal. So, like, my whole journey of this, definitely my own personal experience of what was happening. So, there was just stuff that was going on in my life where I was not feeling good and needed to find an answer to feel better. So, my journey started with, the spirituality side of things, so learning the Reiki, energetic stuff, finding my intuition again. Then I
Love
started
it.
understanding attachment styles and nervous systems because the spiritual world kind of had gaps in it for me. So, like, when we talked about things like manifestation and trying to make this happen for ourselves, but it like wasn't coming to me.
Right.
And then when I learned some of the science around it and the attachment style stuff and like our subconscious beliefs, that really began to speak to like the holes that the spiritual world had.
Mm,
Um, and then on the sensuality side, that's kind of just been always kind of been there. And it was more was the most personal side, but I didn't realize I wanted to teach people that until the opportunity came along about last year.
mm-hmm.
Mm. And then I saw the transformation in myself. So I went with when I started pole dancing in 2014. So that's like where my sexuality sensual. Well, I can't even say that's where it started. I've also been an equine midwife. So the realm of like sex, reproduction, circle of life stuff. Like I just enjoy all of that. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like human based, animal based. I think it's like a fascinating realm as a whole.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so my like sensuality journey, I started doing pole dancing because I thought it was taboo and that excited me. So it started there.
Yeah.
And then I started wanting to change the conversation when I was dancing. So it's like, this is pole dance, but there's tons of other types of dance that we get to play with as we're doing this. So it's not just kind of like the stereotypical what you think it is. Like it's not like we're strippers because we're not. We're doing this for fitness and it's fun and it's an expression of dance, an expression of our emotions. And that's also a huge thing of what it ended up being for me was it it made me feel better and it let me express every like all of my emotions in all the different ways. It helped me feel good in my body. And then it ended up becoming a very great outlet for me too when I started actually teaching and creating choreography for my classes.
Got it. Yeah. And so as you started to teach this and started to see women sort of well, let me ask you, like, what started to happen when as you taught? Because I know that, as a coach, it's like we start to teach when we are called to teach, right? When people are coming to us and saying, "Wow, I feel like I could really have more of what you have. I feel like I could really step into more belief, more of the love, more of what's oozing out of you myself." So, tell us about how that started to happen for you.
I think I started seeing it right away. So like I had been dancing with the girls before I started teaching, and then I kind of
Right.
like transitioned into being a teacher, which I wasn't sure how that was going to go. But it went really well, and I like, the intention that I made when I did my first choreo was I really wanted it to be I wanted women to feel very confident and very dominant. That's the
Uh-huh.
energy that I like, the theme, the energy, the goal was that, and I loved it, and, like, I could see it in the women, I could see it as they were dancing, and they'd get really excited, and you just see that energy, you're like, "Okay, well, I'm doing something right, like, I'm making them feel exactly what I wanted."
Right.
So, apparently, I'm on the right track here.
Yeah. Okay, so talk to me then about this synergy between, and I know that you shared about, where you started to see gaps, but how have you seen this really impact the women that you're serving? Like in terms of, um, if they, because we all know of, that world where spirituality is the only thing that exists for a lot of people, and it's almost this like spiritual bypassing that starts to happen, right? Where like what's like this physical world is not brought into the equation sometimes, right? And
Mhm,
so like I'm of the belief that we're spiritual beings living a physical reality, right? Living in this physical
mhm,
realm. So it's like combining that together. And then how has that transpired into a more sensual experience for women and their intimacy with themselves?
mhm. Okay. Hold on,
I
let
know
me
it's a big question, but I
no, I
think you
got it.
can handle it.
I've got the path.
Okay.
And this quite literally is like, again, how I went through my own journey. So being in that spiritual land, and trying to manifest stuff was kind of like, to me, it was all very heady and not very grounded. And that's what I think people can get really caught up in at the beginning. So like you're saying, that spiritual bypassing, um, it's like we're not really taking grounded action, and we're in that stage, and there's a lot of dissociation. So
Right.
that's part of the science part. Like once you start to understand where your nervous system's at and what's happening, it's like my body doesn't want to be in my body for some reason, so I'm going to dissociate and I'm going to live in a land up here instead. Like up in my head, I want to manifest stuff because I don't like the earth realm that I'm in right
Mm.
now.
Hmm.
So it's safer to be up and out here and floating in the clouds. It's safer out this way.
Right.
So until we can begin to create safety in our body and be like, no, it's okay to live here. It's okay to live in the body. It's okay to live here on in this planet instead of like in your head, or whatever you're trying to do, like astral projections or some whatever ethereal things. It's just not going to be safe. But your manifestations also aren't going to come true unless you are grounded. This is also like the balance of the masculine and feminine energy. So the feminine is like that moon energy. It is that intuition. It is that manifesting. It is the emotions. And then the masculine is that take charge, grounded, safety energy. And we have it within us. Both are within us. So we need to be able to have that balance so that we can take that stuff we want to manifest and ground it into the real world.
Right. And then how does that lead to a greater experience for ourselves? Like, how does that lead to a more empowered woman and someone who is happy in her work and happy in her relationships and happy in her body?
Once we're actually able to find that safety and start to embody it, which this is where the dance and the sensuality side comes in,
Right.
is a huge part of being able to come present in the moment is to tap into your senses. So whether that is like in a meditation and you're thinking, not thinking, ideally feeling.
Mm,
But you're trying to get in that space. So what is it that I see in this space? What do I hear in this moment? What can I taste? What can I feel? Using all of your senses. And if we're doing that with dance, it's the same thing. So as I'm moving my body, because I was doing a sensual class, which is specifically about this. And it's like, okay, meditation, come into the body, feel whatever it is that you're feeling. I'm hoping that in this space, I'm helping to make it safe for you. Like your emotions are welcome. Your like whatever feelings are welcome. Your tears are welcome. Everything is welcome here. And the women that are in this space are here for you to support you. You can just let whatever experience needs to happen happen.
mm,
So I would start with that and then let whatever come up. We do like a card pull, we do a sharing circle. And a lot of things the women would talk about would be like, I understand that I have a similar experience, or I've already been through that. Maybe I can help you with this. And so it can be very supportive and it can just be very healing to have that experience of like, oh, someone else has done this or experienced it. Like you don't need to have an answer either. It's just, I'm not alone in this.
right.
And
Right.
then, and then after that, then we go into the movement and it's like, okay, here's the music. Look at the mirror if it feels good for you. If you start to judge yourself, don't. Otherwise, close your eyes, just move your body and do things that feel good. Like we're not here to like nail a move. We're
Right.
not here to do a choreography. We're here to just move our bodies in a way that feel really good to us. So what are those movements? And it's okay if it's like the same 3 to 5 movements that you keep doing.
Mm. Yeah,
So
this
what is
isn't a performance. Yeah, this is, yeah, us coming into our own. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's like really how you can get into your body. So once you start to notice, okay, these moves do feel good to me. That does not feel good to me. And the thing that I would always give an example for with women is like, do the splits feel good? Oh, but everyone wants to nail them as a cool trick or as a move to do in their choreo, right? I'm like, but do
Right.
you like it? Like, no, okay, then don't do it. Like, do something different, right? So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
that's and those lessons that happen in dance very much relate to life too. So it's like, I'm feeling something. Do I like this or do I not? I feel this in my body.
Right.
So how do I move forward with that, right? And that can also be singing class. Like, do I vibe with the instructor? Do I like what was said here? Do I like, did something happen with one of the other girls in the room that I did or did not like? So there's your intuition is speaking to you all the time. You have opportunities um to listen and to act and make decisions that honor yourself in those moments.
I I love this, and I love how it's such a beautiful sacred journey, and that you really like what's coming up for me is the fact that awareness, like the awareness that you start everybody off with and helping women like really just tune into what's happening for them because I think like what you described, like a lot of women will just try to move right past the feeling zone and right past what's going on in their heart and mind and in their nervous systems. Like, I'm learning
Mhm.
so much about nervous systems these days
For
because
sure.
I didn't realize that, like, my body has been holding on. Like not even consciously, subconsciously, my
Mhm.
body has been holding on to so much that like it takes a little while for that to really release what's happening in your nervous system, right?
For
and
sure.
and I think it's a practice, but I think this awareness that you're talking about, Shelby, is so key to start women off with. And that's really aligned with what we do in Happy Healthy Women, because without the awareness we can't change our mindsets, we can't change our thoughts, we can't change the way we feel. That has to come first. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I think one of the other things that's really important too with, that sensuality piece, like I taught a class last night and one of the girls was saying, I had a boyfriend that wasn't supportive of me expressing my sexuality. And that was like she had drawn like a self-portrait type thing and was really proud of it and displayed it in a room and he kept putting it down. Um
Oh, wow.
and he didn't want her to express her sexuality, and I've heard also from other girls that come and do dance that, like, my partner is upset that I'm always at the studio or that I'm doing these other things, and I'm like, this is a part of the challenge of this journey where you get to say, like, "You know what? My needs are getting met here, and they're not getting met at home. This is why I'm doing this, like, I know that I love this, and you really need to step it up because if you want me to hang out with you, make me wanna hang out with you. Like, do
Yeah.
something interesting, right? So
Yeah.
it just ends up making, people wanna elevate, and that can be a problem some with partners sometimes, but it's kind of like, is that the type of partner that you want, or do you want them to grow with you, or does it mean that you have to find someone better, right? So it's kind of
Mhm.
which can be scary. It can be that can be like a very, very scary and confronting thing to also go on as you're going on the journey, but, like, I really want people to elevate and grow and bring other people up with them.
100%. When it comes to relationships, there's so much around that. But I think
Mhm.
that, feeling into the knowing that you have yourself, right? And
Yeah.
this is why this work is so important, because we need to, as women, really tune into the power that we hold in like confidence. Yeah, confidence can come from, you know, watching motivational videos and all of these things.
Mhm.
But if we want to like have it be in our bodies, if we really want to embody this confidence and have it be integrated into our systems, into everything that we do, it's what you're talking about, right? It's actually like taking the action that feels scary, maybe
Uh-huh.
assessing the things in your life that are resisting this, right? So, i.e., a relationship, and but taking the leap anyway towards, because there's an inner knowing. Would you agree? Like, we have an inner knowing that
Yeah.
pulls us towards the things that we truly, truly want.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Like, and it, we cannot, I mean, we can put it to the side, we can sweep it under the rug, we can do all of these things, but I get the sense, Shelby, that you are the kind of woman that listens to that knowing and moves forward with that knowing front and center. Am I right in that?
Yeah, definitely. Because I've told you this personally, I believe as well. But the last couple years, my intuition has been very strong, and the universe has been very like in line with it. So I'll
Mm,
get the hits of whether or not like it's the right move to go and do something. And if I say yes, but I know that it's not really the right fit, I don't stay in that place for very long, or I actually get kicked out. Like it's just
yeah.
the universe is like, no.
Yes.
It, yeah.
Yes. And I think that really tends to happen when you continue to put yourself in places where you are going to elevate your frequency. Because the higher your frequency is, the more tuned in you are, the more, aligned you are, the more. And so I love that. I love that you brought up how strong your intuition is, because that is exactly when you start to either leave yourself, right? Or be pushed out, be moved out by the universe, by circumstance, by whatever comes our way, right? That's very cool.
And I think it's the other thing that I've noticed a lot lately is that I keep getting signs. So one of like the spiritual things that I do like to teach my clients too is, if asking for signs makes sense for you, then pick one and ask for it, or like do aligned numbers means something for you. And I keep
Mm,
getting that. For me specifically lately, I keep getting aligned numbers. It doesn't necessarily like matter what number it is, as long as it's 3 numbers in a row for me, aligned number, and it's kind of like the universe telling me that I'm doing the right thing and I'm on the right path. And every time that I go and do something in Toronto lately, like I have another space that I go to, a wellness space that I go to, and then to my dance class last night, which was also in Toronto, and I keep seeing the numbers every time I go out and go to those places. So it's very like okay, here's the guide. Keep going
yes.
this.
Yeah, it's telling you you're doing something right, definitely,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And not just something right, like you are totally aligned with your path, which I think is awesome. That's so cool. I have not yet mastered this asking for signs. I have been tuning into this and asking, and then I kind of forget that I ask for the sign, and I just go
Mhm.
about my life. And then my mind, like, so any tips on asking for signs when it comes to making big decisions?
Uh, I just mm, I haven't fully mastered this, but I just ask for some kind of like obnoxious signs so that it's very obvious when it happens.
Okay, I love
Um,
that.
so you could like one of my things lately has been flamingos. And, I have my own reminder. I have, like, a little bauble on my purse, which is a flamingo, but, um, yeah, now if it comes up, like, in conversation or shows up somewhere, then I'm kinda like, "Okay, there's something in there, there's guidance for that." It's not always clear is the thing that I find. So, I think it really depends on what it is that you're asking. Like,
Mhm,
one of the examples that I have just in a book that I read was someone was looking for a home, for a new house to buy,
mhm.
and she asked for a specific sign, and then that sign showed up in the house. So I think with something like that, it's very clear that's like, "This is the house," right? Because it's
Right.
here. I traveled to the space, it's in this space. Um if you
Yeah.
ask for signs, they will also show up because again, this one if I go to one of the places in Toronto that I visited, the very first day that I went there, they have a whole bunch of oracle card decks, and I pulled a card out, and it was abundance. So it's
Mm,
like, okay, well, if that's not a sign in itself, I don't really know what is. Like that's pretty clear to me.
yes.
So I think if in general, if you're open to signs, the universe will show you in some way. Like I keep seeing this thing, or I pulled a
Yeah.
card and this is what happened, or I did ask specifically for a maybe you asked for like a green flamingo or something instead, something that's not going to be out in the world, but all of a sudden it's on the painting on this wall over here.
Love it. Yeah.
Mhm,
And I think we see the signs we want to see as well,
mhm,
right? Like, and I know even just like personally, when my dad passed away, I was seeing signs everywhere of him,
mhm,
everywhere. And I was like, wow, like just noticing him. And then, I've talked to other people who have lost parents or lost loved ones. And I've said, have you seen like tons of signs? And they're like, no, not one. And so it's really interesting, right? Like I think we see the signs we want to see, and
yeah,
we look for the comfort that we are seeking. And if we believe that we will find it, then we will. Right.
Right.
And it's, like there's no right or wrong in that. I think it's just a matter of like, are we seeing it? Right.
And are you feeling it too? Because
Yes.
I love that you brought up the signs of your dad and like him passing and stuff, right? So I had a similar thing that happened recently. So my nana passed away like many years ago, like when I was 12-ish. So but I've always felt that she's been with me, and like when I've done different spiritual readings or just different things have come up and I just feel like she's around. Um but recently for me, like sh- I am like 95% sure that the person that I just recently met was brought to me by her.
I love that.
So you can ask for help from people that have passed,
Mm,
their guides.
that's that's such a beautiful thought, and, like,
Yeah.
that's gonna stick with me for sure. I love that. Thank you,
Yeah. Well,
Shelby.
because it makes you feel so cared for too. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
like, they are gone, but they're not really gone. And like, you're helping
Yeah.
me. And you brought me this, in this case, like this beautiful person.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Absolutely. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Just as we, sort of wrap up this conversation, I'd like to know from you, do you have any like if there are women who are listening to this and they're thinking, "Wow, I'd really love to get more grounded in the strength of my intuition. I'd really love to start to bridge the gap between my spirituality, my sensuality, really start to feel into me as a incredible empowered woman. Like what are some things other than the asking for signs, which I think is so cool and so tangible? What are some things that we can begin to do? Maybe it's a daily practice or yeah, just start to think and feel into that are going to help us on this journey, Shelby.
One of the best things to do is consider what you really like to do. Like this is the whole process that I take people through the entire
Yeah.
time. Is like what do you actually enjoy? And
Yes.
that can be a hard question for people. So it can be, what do you enjoy right now? But like what really lights you up, what really makes you happy? Figuring that out. And if
Mhm.
you're kind of like, I don't know, what made you really happy when you were younger? Because more often than not, I really feel like those things haven't changed that much. Like there's a reason that it gave you joy when you were younger
Right.
too, right? So
Mhm.
like maybe you did dance when you were younger too, or you liked like you really enjoyed playing soccer, or you did volleyball, or you were very artsy and like made crafts, or you did pottery or something, right? So if you did those things and really liked them then, do them again now.
Mhm.
And then just, just try and see what happens and see if it gives you that same amount of joy or not. Or if you learn something from it, you're like, some of the things that you did as a kid might be like still feel very juvenile. So what's the adult equivalent to this? What do you like? What would really pull you
Mm.
to do this now?
Yeah. And like not waiting for permission. Like for some reason it just hits me that sometimes we wait for permission to do the fun things. Like
Yeah.
we wait until like did we work hard enough? Did we earn this? Even with like wellness, ooh, should I be eating this slice of pizza?
Uh-huh.
Did I do a spin class today? Like, these are the things that I think we don't need permission to do what brings us joy. And in
Mm.
fact, I really am of the belief that the more fun we have, the more money we make, right? The higher the frequency that we step into, the more successful we are. So it's like what you're saying, like, yes, step into those fun things, go dancing with your girlfriends or whoever, right? And eat the pizza and color the page and just like even if it's like for 10 minutes, like put your face outside in the sun and just like sit there, right? I think that
Yeah.
all of these things are so key.
Yeah, and I love that. You said that the other day too, and I made like an affirmation sort of thing for it. It's on my phone now. Like the more fun I have, the more money I make. Which is, and
Yeah.
I just resonated with it so much because that's very much what the dance is for me, whether it's for myself or whether I'm teaching with others.
Yeah.
And it's like I know the feeling of that. I think that's the thing. Like you'll know that feeling inside of yourself when it happens. There's like, I remember when that happened and it was with this thing. And it's
Yeah.
like that's what it is that we want.
I love that. I just got chills, like truly. So that is amazing. Thank you for that. Shelby, tell us a little bit about how women can find out about you, where to go. I know that you're teaching a lot in Toronto. You also still teach in Newmarket. So
Mhm.
what's the happening, and how can people learn more about Shelby Avan?
So you guys can find me. I have a couple different social media accounts depending on what you want to follow, and my website. So the website first is intimacyangel.ca, and then you can kind of book in with me whatever it is that I'm doing. So whether that's coaching, Reiki, or dance, my dance classes. Something else I was doing. Oh, circles. I'm kind of in and out between doing women's circles right now.
Hmm.
I am doing one. I'm collabing with someone at the moment, but otherwise I'm kind of like feeling that out. The
Yes.
universe hasn't been making that one as easy for me, so I think it might need to have a little pause at the moment. But I do those as well, and they're shadow circles. All that's on my website, and then otherwise, if you want to follow me on my Instagram, it's the Intimacy Mistress and Intimacy Angel. The Intimacy Mistress one is my dance account, but they have funny spelling. So it's intimacy with an X and then mix tricks. So X in the mix trick. Yeah, just put X's where there would be S's or C's basically on both accounts. So Intimacy Angel as well. I just didn't want to get
Yeah.
yelled at by
Perfect.
Instagram.
And we will put that in the notes for the podcast as well, so that it's there and people can just head to wherever they're listening to this and click on it. But I just want to say thank you so much, Shelby. This has been a wonderful conversation. Truly, like, you have lit up my day. I am just going to go about my day feeling so pumped and feeling so lit up because of you. So thank you so much for talking to me today.
And I appreciate that. Other spot that people can also find me is the Newmarket meetup too. If you want to come
Yes.
and talk to me, come and hang out and meet the other ladies from Happy Healthy Women around Market area.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Check out Shelby and her amazing community of women in the Newmarket branch. And all the things that, like, I saw that you brought like angel cards, and
Yep.
it's just so, like, it's so in tune with this conversation. So if you liked this conversation, definitely it's worth a drive from wherever you are, even if you're in a different country. Come see come see Shelby.
Fly out to the event.
Fly out, fly out. All right. Thank you so much, Shelby. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being part of Happy Healthy Women. I love your leadership. I appreciate you so much. And I'm excited for all that's to come with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.